Hey guys, we're going to learn some basic stuff about After Effects today. We're going to make this puppet animation project. So if you find the link on Canvas, click on this first link, and this is where you will get your characters and backgrounds. So let's go to this characters window, choose any one of these. Notice they are PNG files, meaning they can have a transparent background. So I'm going to go with the rabbit here. Right click on it, download, and then let's go back here and let's choose a background. Market Street, sure. Let's download that. Okay, now that we've got those, we're going to open up After Effects, and I'm just going to do this really quick. I'm not going to explain a ton of stuff. We'll get into more details later. So, new project. First thing to do, File, Import, File, and let's find those two pictures that we downloaded. So they'll probably be in your Downloads folder. And if you hold Command, you can select more than one. Open those. Now we have them in our project bin here. Next, we need to open up a composition. So that's kind of what After Effects calls video projects. So composition, new composition, and let's name this puppet animation. Your preset, you're going to want HD TV 1080 24, and then all of these things should look like this. Resolution, I would change that to quarter for now. Duration, I think this is the default, but we'll set that at 10 seconds. Background color, we can leave that. Alright, so now we have our composition window. If I scroll my mouse, I can zoom in and out on that. So we'll leave that right about there. Next, let's find my background. I'm going to drag this down here into my layers. I let go, and now I've got this picture in the timeline. So here's your layers, here's your timeline, and your composition. Notice it's looking pretty pixelated. That's because I set it at quarter resolution. We can always go to full resolution to look at it at full quality. But while we're animating stuff, I generally keep it at quarter just so it doesn't use so much computer power. Next, before we add the rabbit, let's go down here and let's lock this. So just go here and click the little lock button. That way we won't accidentally move the background picture. Alright, now the rabbit picture, I'm going to drag this straight onto here, and I can resize this guy like that. If I hold the shift button, he'll keep the same proportions. I'm going to put him right in the middle of the frame. Now up here at the top, we want this thing, Puppet Pin Tool. Click on that, and now wherever I click on him, it will add a pin. So put one in his ear, and then I want just the top of his ear to move, so let's put a pin here so this part doesn't move. And let's do the same with this ear. And I'll put one in his torso and one on each foot. Now we can grab these pins and it'll stretch the picture to match where your mouse is moving. Same with the feet. Alright. Now we're going to animate this guy, and we'll just do it a quick and easy way where we animate it in real time. So if I hold the command button on my keyboard, see how the cursor turns into a stopwatch? So I'm going to hold command. I need to make sure that my timeline is here at the beginning. Hold command, and now I'm going to click and drag this back and forth. And that makes it into this outline of the picture, and notice the timeline is also moving. So it's recording what I'm doing right now. So I get to the end, I can let go, and it has just recorded all that. So I can come up here. If your preview menu is closed, you can drop that down, hit play, and there it remembers what you did. So let's rewind that. Let's do it with the other ear. Okay, something like that. And let's rewind it again, and I'm going to do it with the feet. And then I'll do the other foot. So I'm holding command and then clicking and dragging on these. And you can go really overboard with this too if you want to click and drag it like way out, you know, whatever you want to do with this thing. Okay, there we go. Now he's just kind of dancing in place. I can go to my arrow tool. I could move him someplace else, and he'll do it up there. I can move him over here, but we want him to move across the screen while he's doing this. So let's go to the beginning. Down here, I can close this effects tab. Don't need to see that anymore, but I want to drop down the transform options. And notice these stopwatches. Let's click the stopwatch on position. So we're going to have him start right here. Maybe I want him to start on this side. So slide him over here. Because I clicked the stopwatch, it's going to add this keyframe right here. That means at this point, frame number 1, he's going to be in this position. Then if I drag this to the end of the movie and click on the picture of the rabbit and slide him over, now it added a keyframe here, meaning at the end of the movie he'll be here, and in between he's going to move along this path that it just made. Like that. Alright. If I want to change him, like make it like he's bouncing, I can go any point in this path and move him up. Click down here, move him back down. So move him around as much as you want, and then he will still follow that path. Like that. If I decide, hey, this is happening way too slowly, I can click any of these keyframes, slide them over so it happens faster. But for this case, I'm not going to do that. Okay. So we've got our rabbit moving across the screen. Now, let's also add a bit of randomness to the rotation. Right now, the rotation is staying the same the whole time. He's facing straight up. So instead of animating this myself, I'm going to have After Effects wiggle it for me. So I'm not just going to click on the stopwatch. I will hold Option and click on it. Hold Option, click on that. That creates this thing called Expression. So in here, I'm going to type the word wiggle. So that means it's going to randomly change the value of the rotation. Then I put parentheses, and I'm going to put 2 numbers in here. The first number is how many times a second you want it to change. So if I put 5, that means 5 times a second it'll change the rotation. Then I put a comma, and the next number is how much it'll rotate. So if I put 20, that means it'll choose a random number that's less than 20, and it'll rotate that much. And then I can go up here and hit play, and now he's wiggling back and forth 5 times a second, 20 degrees or less. You can do this wiggle thing to any one of these. We could add it to the scale. Option, click on that. Wiggle. Let's say 5 times a second we want it to change by 50 percentage points. Now he's growing and shrinking constantly. Okay, that's all you do for the puppet project. Go ahead and put another character in there. So you have 2 of them, and have them move around and put some puppet pins in it. Once you're done, you need to export it as a movie. So let's export, add to render queue. And by default, it's going to have this lossless setting, which we don't want to use, because that's a huge file and it's hard for the computers to play back. So click on this drop down thing, choose custom, and then we want to change the format options here. And instead of animation, choose H.264, hit OK, hit OK. And now it'll say custom QuickTime, and I don't want to have to do that every time that I export something, so let's turn this into a template. and we'll just name it h.264 and hit OK. Alright, so now I've got this as one of my options. I can just choose that setting. Over here, yours probably says not specified or something like that. So I can click on the name of that, and then I choose where I want to save the file. Desktop is fine with me, so hit save. And then the last thing to do is go over here and click the render button, and it will do this little timeline. Once it gets to the end, it'll do a nice little ding on the bell for you, and then you know it's done. So then you can take that finished video and upload it to Canvas, and we'll watch your stuff. Good luck.